Hey, friends. Happy Take Action Tuesday, and I hope that's the mindset that you enter into this day with, full of limitless opportunity. What do you do? Hey, Kawadani, I don't know what I do. What do you do? What do you do? I don't know, man. Thanks for the question, though. I mean, at least you asked. I'm still trying to figure that out. Can we figure that out together, Kyler? I'm still trying to figure that out, I feel like. What am I doing? I mostly try to spread motivation and inspiration, but today I want to hang out with you guys. But today I want to share my daily devotional with you. My devotional was talking about what is the lens. And I want to give you this, this little mindset here. Let's go. I'm not banned. Let's go. You're not banned. Were you banned before? I don't know. But yes, what I want to talk about is what is the lens that you're looking at life through, right? I heard this powerful story in my daily devotion. I was talking about what is the lens that you're looking at life through and how that lens can limit us, but most importantly, it dictates how we act and how we, freaking about my phone about that right there. Ooh, we got to figure out how to get that closer. Can we reach? Maybe we plug this in over here. Phone's about to die. Oh yeah, there's a plug right here. Duh. Right next to me, eh? All right, perfect. Sorry, it's about to die. My phone's about to die. That would have been lame. Like we just started, guys. But yeah. What is the lens that you're looking at life through? I think that's a great question. And how it really talked about is, Alexa, volume 2. Alexa, volume 2. Perfect. Okay. I feel like I was like screaming over Alexa, and that wasn't cool. So, but yeah, friends, if you're coming in here, happy, like I say, happy Tuesday to you. Ooh, somebody try to join? But yeah, so what we're talking about, that lens that we're looking at life through, right? That's what we're talking about today. We're talking about what is the lens that we're looking at life through. And when it comes to your goals and dreams, I want to share this story with you because it was really changed my perspective of how I see things. So there was a guy, he was moving from the big city. It was a big, prosperous city. He's moving to a small country town because he's like, man, I want to raise my family in a different environment. The city is nice and busy. It's loud, and people aren't always as nice. And so as he moved, he was moving to a rural town. He stops at this gas station in the middle of nowhere. And, it's right in the town that he's moving to. It's like they said, the town. He moved from a big city to a little country town. And he runs into a homeless man sitting outside, an older gentleman just sitting outside of the gas station. And he said, man, we just moved here. How are people here? Because we came from the big city, and people in the big city were rude. They were inconsiderate. And they just weren't very nice. They're really grouchy. And that the homeless guy who was sitting out there said, well, you'll find a lot of the same people here. The same people that are grouchy, angry, and not as considerate. And that guy gets in his car and he leaves, and he's like, a little disappointed. He's like, man, I'm thinking I'm moving to the middle of nowhere. I'm gonna find a different environment and different people. So then a few hours later, another car pulls up. They just moved from the same big city. And they stop and they see that same homeless man. He's still sitting outside in front of that store. And the first thing the guy goes up to him and says, hey, I'm so glad I'm here. We just moved here. How are people that live here? And he said, well, how are people where you are from? And he said, man, well, people were very kind. They were considerate. And it was honestly really hard for us to leave there. But we really just wanted to have a different environment for our family. A small town feel. So what happened there is they go ahead, and the old man said, you know what? You'll find the exact same type of people here. And that story really hit me because I was thinking about, how do you see the world? Right? How are we stepping into our opportunities this year? Do you find yourself stepping towards your goals this year, maybe with a little bit of doubt? You're entering this year with the same luggage of last year. Maybe it's doubt. Maybe it's fear. Or maybe there were so many failures that you just can't see yourself possibly winning. So you're stepping into this new year, hoping, wishing things would be different, but you don't anticipate them being different. You don't see them as being different. And it's kind of like that story, right? Through his lens, that traveler from the big city, through his lens, everybody was disrespectful, but the other person in the exact same situation came from the exact same place, said everybody was kind and considerate. And I want you to think about, how do you see your goals this year? Through the lens of your eyes, and do you see your goals being possible for you? Are you looking through the lens of limitation? Are you looking through a lens of doubt? Are you looking through a lens of thinking that, hey, this isn't even going to be possible for me? But I hope this encourages you today that just like me, I have to clean these glasses. It's time to clean your lens. It's time to clean the lens that we're looking at life through. It's time to anticipate better things along our journey this year, realizing that this journey doesn't have to be the same. And that choice is up to you. I mean, I think you can really reflect on last year. Could I have taken some better actions? What are some things that would change the trajectory of my life by the actions I take and the decisions I make? Right? Let's go. I'm not, oh yeah, you're not banned. But I'm excited you guys are here because I hope that encourages you. Because I think many of us are always, we're always focused on, this is a new year. We're ready to set those new goals. We're ready to, level up, right? But when it comes to really working on the foundation of things, we're holding on to the past. We're holding on to those past failures. We're holding on. We have that same self-talk that say, we're listening to those same old voices that maybe said it wasn't possible for you. Or maybe you find yourself in comparison because you saw success happen around you, but it didn't happen for you. So now you feel like it's not meant for you. But I want to encourage you, as you step into this first week of the year, that your past doesn't have to dictate your future. I want you to hear that today, that your past doesn't have to dictate your future. Isn't that exciting? Isn't that exciting that those failures, those setbacks don't have to be your reality? They were just simply a part of your journey. Now, can we look back and reflect and realize that these are opportunities of growth? Can you look back and realize, and me and Molly, we had an amazing talk today where we talked about obstacles along the road and realizing that, hey, you're going to find some obstacles along your path, right? And when it really comes to that lens, it really comes down to what we start to say about ourselves. Like, how do you see yourself? I think it's a really powerful question. We're going to have to take some inventory for, because if you're looking to make this year different, but you're looking at yourself with the same old dirty lens, the same old limited lens, the same old scared lens, you're going to get the same old limited and scared results. I want you to hear that today. That, how do you see yourself? I think we need to give ourselves a little bit more grace, right? What if this is a year you maybe weren't so hard on yourself? You gave yourself some grace for the things you didn't know. You started to continue to do the work even though times got hard. And I come to you as somebody that's not guilty of that. Challenges have come to me and I'm like, man, this just isn't working out and I got to scrap it. But what if you were a little bit more resilient this year? What if, maybe you bit off more than you could chew? Maybe you could just go just a little bit slower. Or maybe you could simply just ask for help. Isn't that powerful? That's a choice you can make today. Like one of my things that I'm adding this year is who can I ask for help? Realizing that hey, this journey doesn't have to be done alone, but that's up to you. Like you can make that choice. You can make that choice today. Like I can do more. I can be more. I can do the work. But it starts with really that belief that you have in yourself. And that's what I really want to talk about. How do you see you? When it comes to your goals, when it comes to your dreams, how do you see you? But most importantly, are my actions in line with the vision of the person that I want to be? I want to repeat that again to really let that sink in. Are your actions in line with the person that you want to become? Like when you look at that big, broad vision that you have for your life, when you're looking at that vision you have for your life, are your actions matching that person? Because I think many times, we have these massive goals that we've set, but we're not acting like that person we want to become. And I think it's a powerful thing, like sometimes you hear it, fake it till you make it, right? Fake it till you make it. You hear that? You probably heard that saying. People say, fake it till you make it. Or act like the person you want to become. But I think it's really more so time to not just act like the person you want to become. It's time to start visualizing yourself as the person you want to become. I want you to hear that again. It's time to start seeing yourself as the person you want to become. Now, how can I do that? See, I think this really comes down, what we're talking about today is repetition. Repetition. Repetition is what builds our confidence, what builds our strength, but just repeatedly doing the things in line with the person you want to become. See, one of my favorite quotes says, how do you eat an elephant, right? One bite at a time. And I think many of us, we set these really big goals, which is good. One of my favorite quotes from Wes Brown says, shoot for the moon, because even if you miss, you'll land amongst the stars. But I think many times we find ourselves in a state where we're shooting so big that we're afraid to miss. I want you to hear that today. We're shooting for such big goals that we're afraid to even miss. We're afraid to even try. So we find ourselves stuck in the planning phase. We find ourselves in procrastination, right? We find ourselves not even giving ourselves a chance. But I want you to hear this today, that all of that can change, but that change starts with you. That most importantly, that power to change your life, you already have. I was talking about this yesterday when I was saying that, hey, you are the hero that you've been waiting for. See, many of us, we've been taught that the superhero is going to swoop in, sweep us off our feet. They're going to swoop in with the bat cave. You are the hero you've been waiting for. I need you to hear that today. That you are the hero you've been waiting for. As we enter this first week, I want you to understand that you are the one that you've been waiting for. And it's time to step into that power with that strength. Knowing that you are the one you've been waiting for. You are the one. And that this community year that things change if you're willing to change. This community year that things change if you're willing to be consistent. This community year that things change because you're willing to keep showing up no matter what. What if this was the year of no matter what? Zan? I don't even know how to say her name. But what if this was the year? What if this was the year that you were a no matter what person? Like, I'm going to stick to this plan no matter what. When times get hard, I'm going to keep doing it. Because after a while, that will simply just become what you do. And I think many of us set goals that are challenging. We take such a big step that we're even, we're overwhelmed. We're overwhelmed before we even started. Me and Molly, we had an amazing talk earlier. If you follow me, you can follow me on Facebook as well. It's actually the full live there. We were talking about obstacles, and we were talking about, it's so awesome. We want to set these big goals, but sometimes we set these goals so big that they're just so challenging for us. So we're exhausted before you even try. And maybe you find yourself at this point of the year already like that. You're like, man, you know what? I just wanted to work out and I'm exhausted. And I haven't even gone to the gym yet. I feel like I'm already playing catch up and it's Tuesday. Like I set this goal, like I want to go to the gym 5 days a week. Maybe you set that goal. And you find yourself here Tuesday, haven't even gone once. I want to remind you that tomorrow not only is a new day, but that this, don't make a permanent, I love this, and I really want you to enter into this day with that clarity, is don't make a permanent decision for a temporary problem. I think many of us, we find ourselves going into a program. It doesn't necessarily go the way we thought it would go. We find ourselves in a challenging season and we make a permanent decision. We say this program isn't going to work for me. And why would we say this program doesn't work? Because I set this goal and I haven't even started yet. You find yourself overwhelmed, afraid. But I want you to give yourself some grace. Because as you step into something new, you've heard it, new levels, brand new devils, right? New levels, brand new challenges. So can we just simply enter this day, like me and Molly were talking about on our talk today when we talked about obstacles, is just having some anticipation that things are going to be hard, right? Can we have some anticipation that things are going to take a little bit longer than we thought they would be? Can we anticipate, that things aren't going to be perfect, but that the fact that I'm starting is something worth celebrating? I need you to hear that today, because I think many times we find ourselves that it's not perfect, I'm not going to do it. If it's not perfect, it's not going to work. But I believe that there's really no such thing as perfection, because I believe perfection is simply a perception, right? Like what's perfect to you is going to be different from what's perfect for me. We can totally agree on that, of what we anticipate what perfection looks like. So I think many of us are looking for acceptance outside of ourselves, but the most thing that you need is real, true acceptance starts from you. So many of us are looking for acceptance outside of people, wearing ourselves out for something that only you can give you. I want you to hear that today, because maybe you find yourself like that, hey, Jesus King, good seeing you. But maybe you find yourself reaching for perfection outside of yourself. You're reaching for, acceptance outside of yourself, but the first person that you need to accept is you. And that starts with you. Because when you give that to yourself, then you're able to give that to others. And one of these books I read here recently was pretty awesome. It says, you can't give something you don't have. And I think many of us are going to people who don't have that very thing that we need, and we're wondering why we're not getting it. And that's in any area. That goes down to any area. We're looking for things from other people that we don't have, but they don't have it either. So you're looking for acceptance from somebody who maybe doesn't even accept themselves, and wondering, why don't they accept me? Because they don't have it themselves. But I want you to realize that, like I was talking about, you're the hero that you've been waiting for. And it's time for you to step into that power, realizing that you have that power to change your life. And that even though challenges may come my way, they don't have to dictate my future. They can just simply be a stepping stone along the journey. And that journey of itself is just simply something that we should celebrate along the way. Isn't that powerful? And that's a simple choice that you can make. You can reframe your challenges as stepping stones, right? Look at this. Think about all the challenges you had last year, all the setbacks, all the fears, all the doubts, everything that didn't go your way. But look at you. You're still here on the other side. And that's worth celebrating. Have you even celebrated that in itself? Think about everything you went through last year. Maybe last year was your hardest year. You're like, man, I couldn't imagine myself getting over it. But today you're here. You're here on the other side of those challenges. So why would we bring those challenges into this next season? How long are you going to hold onto the anchor and expect to grow? How many times are we going to keep the elephant on our back and wonder why things still feel heavy? I know it's not as easy to say, but it's time to let go. It's time to let go and allow yourself to grow. It's time to start letting go of those past mistakes, those past failures, and give yourself the opportunity to grow. But most importantly, realizing that you have the power to do that. That power to let go starts with you. Making that decision that this will no longer hold me back, but this will just propel me forward into bigger, better things. So I'm super thankful for just this time that I get to talk with you guys. I ain't gonna lie, your boy hungry. I'll be hungry. So I'm super thankful for you guys. But I'm gonna be here every day, Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. 9 p.m. is when we get started. But hey, I appreciate you guys joining me along this live journey. We're gonna be, I was trying to go for 365 days. We're just gonna do Monday through Friday. We're gonna be consistent. But yeah, thank you guys for hanging out. Grace, and thank you so much for coming on in here. Thank you all for tapping the screen. I appreciate you being here, but I want you to hear this. If I get to leave you with this, I need you to understand that your past doesn't have to dictate your future. I want you to really let that sink in. That your past doesn't have to dictate your future. But most importantly, that your past can propel you forward into bigger, better things. Look at those roadblocks that you had in the road, knowing that you made it on the other side. And I hope that gives you the confidence that the next blocks, the next challenges that you run into are just simply a stepping stone. It's something that you can either step over or work around. But enter this year having that faith that if I've done it once, I can do it again. I want you to hear that. If you've done it once, you can do it again. So I'm super thankful for you guys. Super, super thankful. Hey, let's continue to make this the year where we stay consistent. But most importantly, make this the year you take ownership of your destiny. Take care.